Imagine an army so powerful, the US government had to pass a law just to stop them. We aren't talking about a country. We are talking about a private company. If you know Arthur Morgan or Dutch van der Linde,
to Australia or Tahiti,
you already know their name.
Pinne!
The Pinkertons. Don't worry.
English parnera.
It all started in the 1850s with a guy named Allan Pinkerton. He was just a regular guy making barrels in the woods. One day, he accidentally stumbled upon a gang of counterfeiters making fake money. He helped the local police catch them and suddenly realized he decided to quit making barrels and started the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. Their logo was an open, unblinking eye, with the motto, "We never sleep." This is actually where the English term private eye comes from.
Back on topic.
The Pinkertons were the first modern detectives with no magic, just pure investigation. Before they were chasing cowboys, the Pinkertons were doing elite bodyguard missions. In the year 1861, the new U.S. president was traveling to Washington by train. His name was Abraham Lincoln. But Allan Pinkerton uncovered a secret plot to assassinate Lincoln in Baltimore. Pinkerton didn't just warn the president. He went full stealth mode. He cut the telegraph lines so the assassins couldn't communicate. Pinkerton then disguised Abraham Lincoln and smuggled him through Baltimore at night on a secret train. The mission was a success. And because of this, Lincoln actually hired Pinkerton to spy on the enemy during the Civil War. The barrel maker was now the top spy in the country. After the Civil War, America expanded west. It was the Wild West, pure chaos, train robberies, and outlaws. The local police were completely useless. So the banks and railroads hired the Pinkertons. The Pinkertons were relentless. They invented the mugshot and the wanted poster. They hunted down legendary outlaws like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. But there was one man who humiliated them. It was Jesse James. The Pinkertons chased Jesse James for months, but he always slipped away. This drove Allan Pinkerton absolutely crazy, and catching him became personal. In a desperate move, Pinkerton agents surrounded Jesse's family home at night and threw a firebomb through the window. But Jesse wasn't even there. The bomb killed Jesse's younger half-brother and blew off his mother's arm. Instead of looking like heroes, the Pinkertons suddenly looked like ruthless villains. And the public turned against them. By the late 1800s, the Pinkertons had more agents and weapons than the actual U.S. Army. They also started taking on very dark jobs. The rich factory bosses started hiring them as a private army to crush worker strikes. The most infamous moment was the Homestead Strike of 1892. The steel workers went on strike for better pay. The factory boss hired 300 armed Pinkerton agents and sent them down the river on barges to break the strike. This, however, turned into a full-blown war zone. Guns were fired, dynamite was thrown, and people died on both sides. The Pinkertons eventually surrendered to the angry mob of workers, and they were beaten and chased out of town. They went from being the heroes who saved Lincoln to the most hated men in America. The U.S. government looked at the Homestead Strike and panicked. They realized a private company shouldn't have a bigger army than the government itself. So, in 1893, Congress passed the Anti-Pinkerton Act.
Get out, house!
This law strictly banned the U.S. government from ever hiring the Pinkertons or any similar private mercenary group again. But here is the craziest part. The Pinkertons didn't disappear. They survived the Wild West and the government ban.
Hi, Achu.
Later on they shifted to corporate security and risk management. Today, the Pinkerton Detective Agency is still active, operating globally under a different parent company.